Wonderful Weeaboo.
And I'm Afroman.
Oh, yeah. I think a good example of, like, to bring up when it comes to fan service and, like, story and action is sort of like Queensblade.
Yes.
And what's like what you could say is like the problem is like for the first few episodes is like I will say what the problem is the first few episodes like the fights aren't that interesting, like and like it's very stiff.
Yes, which for me it's not a good thing just because of how I watch shows and stuff like that, especially if you don't cook me in the first first episode or first two episodes, then to me there's no point in me watching the show anymore. Like then I'm just there for the ride, which I'm like I don't have time for this ride. Like, yeah, I could be using this time to actually watch like other either better shows or just something that actually catches my interest. Like there's this anime called Mm-hmm. I think it's based off of an actual like video game because I think the video game came out before the actual show, but it's going off of the multiverse theory where like every universe may be similar in some way, but it has like one single difference in it.
It's all about choice, right?
Well, no, this one's kind of not. This one's kind of just like, hey, this main character wants this not to happen, so he it's kind of like that.
It's not like that multiverse theory where like because the difference is because someone made a choice.
No, this one's literally like this guy found this device where he actually can go to different universes, but it's not a time machine. They have to very specifically say that in the show. Like, no, there's no such thing as making a time machine. What I made is a device that goes to different universes. But it goes to different universes at a certain point that you pick.
It's like the Marvel universes like form of time travel when X-Men did it.
Yes, but at the same time, that one they actually said they're actually going back in time. It's just that they're like, no, you can't go back in time and change your future because your future is you going into the past and coming back out.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's how they described it was it's very
like the Avengers time travel.
Yes, because their time travel is very complex, but it works out for their actual like story.
But like I think it was hard. It's hard to like for me like I think the biggest crux of like of that shit that gets me that like is confusing is the whole Captain America thing.
Yes, that one was weird. That one was kind of just like because apparently that going off their logic. That was his future is literally going back from the past, making sure that he actually has a future with a woman he loves, and then coming back and just sitting there, waiting for them to actually get there. But I'm like, wouldn't that still be him going back in time, changing stuff, so where his future should change, which it kind of did?
It feels like it feels like there was a scene that was deleted to explain like that.
Yes. But I think it was on purpose of why they wanted to do that. It was kind of just like, you know what, people are gonna love this scene, and they're not gonna question shit about it.
Because Captain America's like whole arc was basically trying to find the right to find like his right place to live in.
Yeah, he wanted to redo what happened just because especially in Endgame and the first Captain America, he regretted not telling the woman he loved how he felt and actually spending a good chunk of his life with her before he actually became Captain America.
Oh yeah, Peggy Carter.
Yes, and so he went, especially in the scene where he went back in time to actually get the PIM particles, and he actually was like looking at her through the window. He was, what is happening?
I need a scanner that can detect
He's stuck in a box.
Yeah, I'm just doing a catwalk, on a foot of like ground.
I fucking love this game. It's so good.
Like whenever you go, wherever you walk, is always a runway.
Like hopefully, there's nothing in your way where you're just like, oh, I want to see somebody like talk to somebody about being stuck in like a walk animation in a wall. And you're just like, you okay, buddy? Yep, I'm just waiting for our conversation to end so I can actually, like, get off this wall.
Because like
like life, man, it happens. You just can't find surviving. Oh, okay, you're doing this part of the mission.
I have to be over here.
You gotta be all the way. I think it's back in the actual flooded city. I think.
Oh yeah. So where were we again? Time travel.
Oh yeah, we're talking. Well, we went from
Peggy Carter.
Yeah. We went from parallel universe theory to time travel to Captain America.
Yeah, and like for me, like I feel like I should have given Peggy Carter more of a chance instead of being like saying, oh, like because it looked like it like as a I feel like it looked like it was a really interesting show.
Yeah, it's just I just wish they actually would have like flushed her out more in the first movie, which they kind of did, but at the same time, the whole reason for the first movie was just because to actually establish Captain America, not Peggy Carter. Like that's that was the biggest thing. Like we need.
It feels like the movie was going on fast forward. Like
yes,
once the first act happened, the second act was just going fast forward, like to the big parts.
Yes, which I can give them this. I kind of understand why they did what they did, but at the same time,
because like to make it satisfying, Captain America needed like 2 movies.
Yeah, which they actually did, and they actually
like two movies in World War II.
No,
two movies. One movie in World War II, and one movie half in World War II, and the other half in the modern day.
I can kind of see where you're coming from with that, but I feel like the way they did it was good. It's just they should have stayed. They should in the first movie. They should have stayed there a little bit longer. But it ended how they did, where he got frozen, got unfrozen in the 21st century, and then was talking to fuck, I actually forgot his name. Holy shit.
Samuel Jackson's character?
Yes.
Nick Fury?
Thank you, Nick Fury. I can't believe I forgot his name, but yeah, he gets unfrozen by Nick Fury, talks to him, and he's like, where am I, stuff like that, and then he talks to him about
the reason why I say is because like the second act was so like unsatisfactory.
Yes, because you definitely see them trying to like get through like him starting to become the famous Captain America instead of like the Captain America that we know and love. Because to me it makes sense of why they did it, but I really wish they would actually kind of give him more of like an ego per se, just because he was everywhere. Like he was in almost every like battle they were in.
You mean like he more self-confidence about himself?
No, not self-confidence, because that's different than ego. Self-confidence and ego is what you go to.
Why would he need ego? Like
because it would made it more satisfying for him to actually sacrifice himself like towards the end of the movie.
Because like where he's more like cocksure of himself.
Yes, sort of, kind of. Because he was already sure of himself, just because as soon as after he got I'm blacking out on a lot of
because like I know what you're talking about. Because like if I had to say what his confidence is basically like a practical confidence.
Yes,
because like he earned that confidence because he knows what he can do. He doesn't presume too much of himself.
And then that's where I feel like once he started like putting his face on like a lot of like the posters to actually get people into the army and stuff like that, and him going to like different not army groups, god damn it, different camps and stuff like that to actually like to like promote
because you want the
stuff.
Captain America that like that's on the comic book where like he's like red, white, and blue butter and biscuits and all that shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, my thing would have been like if they were just going to let you throw that away in like in the later movies, they shouldn't have really established that in the first movie, because then they went totally left with
because I think they sacrificed that so he could be a more deeper person.
Yes.
Because his whole arc like in the rest of the movies is just him like being disillusioned with like modern America.
Yes, because my thing would have been like
is it disillusion is the right word? Where he's like where he feels like this isn't America. He, like,
you had it right. Yeah, you have it right. Because it's because in the later movies he actually had to deal with like him still having the mindset of like the America that he was born in.
Because like his biggest characteristic is basically being Clark Kent, like being like Superman, where he's like hopeful.
Yes, but at the same time, he still has a human side. And he actually is going through it more and more.
Like he had to deal with being beat up as a kid.
Yes,
and like has to deal with New York.
Yeah, which granted, Superman stuff was like it. Depending on which one you watch, he either did go through that or he didn't go through that.
Like you could say, like I think you can like if you can make another Superman story, I think the good parts of Zack Snyder are like the part sometimes like are the parts like where they could have been like expanded on more, like where Superman's being bullied as a kid because like it could be because if you look at Superman like as a kid, you can sort of like see it as him being autistic because like he's very sensitive to sounds and sights.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, but I wouldn't go that far into it though. But especially like nowadays, because then they would get flack almost immediately for that.
Oh, like like for me, I'm more like pessimistic because I think like if you get like somewhat of a decent autistic character like shown, like you'll get brownie points just for having that character.
And that's very like that to me that's not actually like that shouldn't deserve brownie points, because then you're just like, yeah, we have this actor playing this actual like playing this character. Can we get something for that? Like, no, like you didn't have to do that. You just want this so you can get attention. So now you're actually using this actual like person to get attention for this character that you didn't have to actually put in like that. So no, sir, you not get brownie points for this. Actually, you get less brownie points now
because like it's very problematic representation.
And that's what the internet would be like. They were like, oh, you didn't have to actually put that character. You're trying to get brownie points
because you know like the Predator movie, the newest one.
Yeah, so where for me I understand like that makes no sense.
Or they try to like shoehorn in that autism is the next form of evolution.
Yeah, so I'm like, no, that's guys, no.
Just like, bruh.
Because to me, that doesn't make any sense. Because that's a big flaw right there.
It's just like, I hear people say that a bunch, but like, I don't really believe it.
Why not?
Like that next evolution thing.
Oh, next evolution thing. I thought it meant like it was being problematic. I was like, why not? But
no, yeah, it could be it is a bit problematic. Like,
because it's not bad problematic. It's just that in that world and then the lore for the actual like predators in movies like that, like having the next evolution have autism would be not beneficial for the actual like their species, just because legit they need to actually like communicate with one another. And that's the one problem with autistic kids.
I don't think the super predator needs to be overly obsessed over Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes, like or just something that catches their eye. Like immediately they're trying to pursue like a prey, and immediately something catches their eye, and they immediately just stop.
Loud noises.
And I'm like, because in my head I'm like, that makes no sense, guys. Why are y'all going this route? And and I'm so glad I didn't watch the movie because apparently they go really into it. Like this predator wants this kid so he can actually like make the next evolution like that.
I will disagree a little bit. I think in the actual film it just feels like an afterthought.
Is it afterthought? Okay.
Like because like it just feels like they hint at it, but like it just feels like a very weak idea.
Okay.
It isn't like that gung ho, but it is very apparent.